Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Make Me Famous, where we talk about the road to Hollywood for Latinos as I navigate it myself. So, today I wanted to talk about when the first time it was that you saw a Latino on TV or in a movie. Uh, Somebody that looks like you, right? Somebody that was like similar to what you grew up with. We all grew up with a very Caucasian dominated box office. You had a little bit of like every now and again you'd see like black people in there, and that's great. And but like brown people, um, not so much, right? Especially in the 80s. I mean, you'd get like little flashes and stuff like that. Like a supporting little role here and there from somebody that sort of looks like they might be like of the same lineage as you, but overall in the 80s it wasn't. It was kind of slim pickings. um there was like one that was like mainly dominant, it was called Salsa. It was in 1988. I was still very very young. I don't remember that movie at all, but it was definitely one of those. I didn't hear about it until maybe I was like 5, 10 years old. Like later on, I still haven't even like really seen it in a while, and it was like one of those things that were kind of just on in the background that your mom would watch. um so it wasn't like I remember hearing about it. Oh, like like, did you watch Salsa and all that. And so yeah, it's definitely one of those movies that definitely are represented by us, and that's great. And I intend on watching it again to kind of refresh myself. But for me, and again, I'm an 80s baby, right? So I grew up with, Ghostbusters, He-Man, and, things like that, Ninja Turtles. And, like I grew up with that kind of, like environment. Back to the Future, that was that was huge from, and when I was a child. So for me, but the first time for me that I really saw like somebody that looked like us was in 1991, and that was with the Adams Family by way of Raul Julia. Um, this guy was amazing. He's definitely one of my heroes to this day. Even after his passing, he's just left such an impact, and also such a vacuum. That's been left by him. Like there's such a gap that needs to be filled. And I don't know if anybody will ever like fill those shoes, so to speak. Um, and not that they have to. Everybody could do their own thing their own way and be great at it, and that's the hope of what we do. But yeah, man, it was a trip seeing him on screen. He had such a presence. He had such a fucking presence about him, in the best way, man. Like he was like masculine, but also like, I don't say feminine, but like he had that in between, like, you know, like almost like a flamingo dancer, like just very, very like body forward, and then the voice, and and he would like command the stage, and he would command the screen. And like, when he wasn't just a passerby character. Like everything he touched was, had flair and had drama. And that shit was so impactful for me, because for me, it was like, man, like this guy, like who the fuck is this guy? And I don't remember saying that when I was a kid, but it was like, you were seeing this person who was larger than life, and he was, like you could tell that he was Spanish. I didn't know that he was Puerto Rican until later on, but it was like, hold up, Gomez Adams is Puerto Rican. It's one of those little like yes, when you find out that like Benicio del Toro is Puerto Rican as well. Like that was a big one for us too. I was like, hold up, him too? Yes, let's go. So it was yeah, it was definitely a proud moment for for me, and representing my people, and it's always good to see somebody that commands that kind of presence, and be on stage representing us, because he definitely did. After that, he went on to make a bunch of other movies. I mean, like sadly he passed too soon. And he was in Street Fighter. He made like that entire movie. I mean, like Jean-Claude Van Damme was great in that movie as Guile, but like like Raul Julia as Bison was like, it was crazy, you know? Like that line, I'm gonna fuck this up, but fine. He was like that line when he hit Chung Li with the line. He was like, "The day that General Bison graced your village was the most impactful day of your life, but to me, it was Tuesday." That shit was amazing. To this day, like that is a hard line, man. It's like who says that? And of course that's, that was a writer, but he delivered it, man. Like the writers did that, but he put his mark on that. He put his stamp on that as only he could. So yeah, that was amazing, like so to that was like my first introduction to a Latino, and also a Puerto Rican specific, because I love to champion my own people. I champion all Latinos, but it's especially good when when you see somebody from the same island as you. Like a little bit of pride there. It just feels good to know that you come from somewhere that makes uh, you know like good artistic people, and has good stock. And again, that's a little self-serving, but that's fine. That's part of being prideful of who you are, and where you come from. So yeah, and so that was yeah, so it was Adam's Family, and then Street Fighter. It was definitely a banger. Then after that, it was another one that came after that. This is way before Lin Manuel Miranda and all that stuff like that. Shout out to Lin. Um, like I know him on first name basis, right? But yeah, and it was called I Like It Like That. It was about 94. Yeah, 94. Yeah, and that was like your classic New Eurekan, because like everybody was like a lot of people like they went over to NY, like from PR or whatever. It was just like one of the biggest like densities of my people there. And and it's great. Like it's awesome. Like I love New York, and obviously New York always has a spot in my heart. Um, and it was always so cool to see like hold up, they're actually going through some of the same shit that we go through, and I'm in Philly. I mean obviously that's not too far away, like there's a lot of things in common that we, like New Yorkers versus Philadelphians, share. Not a lot, but enough. But yeah, and so yeah, I Like It Like That was another one of those. It was like, hold on, man, like these people look like us, and they were, like they had like an amazing cast, man. They all went on to do good things after that, and it was just they've always, that cast has always been near and dear to my heart. It's one of those like cultural like stamps, like in my people's I guess culture. It's like, yo, I like it like that. Things like like that was just like one of those movies. It was like it was just, it hit home on a lot of the topics that we as people in the inner city, as Latinos, as Hispanics, as Caribbeans, that we go through. And I just felt like it was like, oh my God, yes, that was finally somebody got it right, um, and dealing with a host of topics. It wasn't like some like, again, I touch on this a lot, but it's like when we actually are represented, you know, correctly, or as much as a big studio will allow, because there's a lot of that too, where it's like, well, we can't be too truthful. We have to, wash it down a little bit, but I feel like I like it like that, was like really raw and gritty, and it gave a really good take on how we are, as Latinos, as Hispanics, as Caribbeans in the inner city, in so at that time, the modern day, because we're not all, and I say this again ad nauseum, we're not all the like every like the big burly papa with the flannel and the big, like, brush mustache, and all that stuff is just tired. Like, it's been tired, and we haven't been that in a very long time. Like, we have all walks of life, when it comes to Latinos. We have we have drug addicts, we have scientists, astronauts, we have lawyers, doctors, judges, we have the whole gamut, and it's we're not just like the picture that was always tried to be portrayed of us, it was always like fake, so to see like people that are flawed but still beautiful on screen, it was great. It was definitely one of those, like made my heart, even though it was a messy ass movie, but it's like that sometimes. And it makes you root for different people at different times, and it deals with a lot of issues that we still deal with to this day. Like just living in the inner city, and growing up poor, and not that that's a crutch, but that is what we went through. And we're all a product of our environment, whether we like it or not. So it's what we do with it, right? So, yeah. So to me, that was always a great one. Dealt with a lot of themes. Family, love, violence. The like the job market, homosexuality. Transgenderism. And how to find your place in all that, and how to be accepting of situations, no matter how bad or good they are, and what you do with them. So there's a lot. To me, I took a lot of lessons out of that movie, and still to this day, you could take a lot of lessons from that film. So it's like, and everybody in it did an amazing job. Like that movie still holds up to this day. So yeah, I like it like that. Was I think one of the other big pivotal moments when I was a younger person, that like really like shaped who I was, as somebody who enjoys film and art that's made from my own people. So that was always cool. And then came like things, Do the Right Thing, with Spike, and Rosie Perez, and to all the host of people that are in that movie, all the stars that are in that one, man. That was another one that it was like in kind of in that same vein of like gritty New York East Coast, 90s vibe. Everything was like starting to get fly a little bit, but it was still a little bit like gutty, like gutter, and like, so you would have like, Jordans were like out, and like it was just like the style and the flavor was starting to get a little, it was starting to change to like not bougie, but because I feel like now we're into like the real bougie era of all that, but like it was like people started to dress really really nice, and but it was still a little gritty. So I enjoyed that type of uh, that type of film, and that era. It wasn't like the 70s or 80s where everything was just like, super hyper violent. And I love that, by the way. Like the 70s, I feel like were the the peak of like cinema for me. Everything was original, and you know, like I know Tarantino goes into like a lot of detail on that when it comes to like what the '70s meant in terms of film and originality. But that's another topic for another day. Uh, but yeah, it's yeah. So those are a few of my I guess films that meant something to me, like and again, I will die on this hill when it comes to representation of like my people, and it's important to feel proud of what you see when you turn the TV on, as a consumer of this type of medium, like you turn on TV and everybody's white, and it's like, and no shade to anybody that's white. Obviously, I love my white brothers and sisters, but it's like, you want to see things that are a little different, every now and again. Like every rom-com doesn't have to be the same, and like it's like, and I hate to use the word whitewash, but even the ones that are kind of sort of like recent, they don't really hit the same, because they're not really made by our people. Like it's just like, it's sort of like a like an inspired by type of situation, and it just, you can smell it, and it's just, they never work out, like it just, you wish the people that are acting in it well, and you hope that they have success, but it's like the project, it doesn't start from us, and it wasn't fully created from the bottom up from us. There was always some type of studio situation, which I know that you need, because then where's the money come from, right? But yeah, there's, it's just not authentic to me, so yeah, that's it, and that's that, to quote the great Joey Diaz. So yeah, if you guys find any value, and if you like this type of content, drop a like, follow, share, follow me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, and wherever else that you happen to see me. Follow me on TikTok before this shit gets banned again, or not. But yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much for for tuning in, for listening, for watching, and keep going after your dreams.